Collins.
Thank you very much, Ceann Corlin. I suppose the reason that many of the deputies are missing is because it's fishing. And it's the fishermen of Ireland that are going to be affected by this decision this government are going to make today. And I did hear what you had to say, Deputy Lynn, and I'm disappointed to think that you don't fully realise the suffering that the fishermen are making in this country, because we're giving it away. The stocks are falling throughout the world because we're handing away our quota continuously. But you're quite happy to stand idly by and accept that here today by praising this. This is an astonishingly bad deal going to be for Irish fishermen. The bill aims to criminalise the entire fishery sector and creates an unequal and deeply unfair legal system for fishermen and women. And on that basis alone, I am completely opposed to this bill, Minister. There has been an extensive consultation with the Department's Legal Services Division, the Office of the Attorney General and External Counsel on this issue to devise a system which is compatible with our legal system and existing legislation. However, there has been a completely inappropriate level of any meaningful consultation with Irish fishers. In scrutinising the general scheme of the Sea-Fisheries Amendment Bill 2021, the Joint Committee held public meetings and Department officials engaged with representatives of the Sea Fisheries Protection, the SFPA, and met with and received written submissions from fish producer organisations. The Joint Committee concluded its PLS and submitted the PLS findings and concerns report by means of its letter on the 21st of June 2021, in which the Joint Committee Chair expressed that the Joint Committee expresses its concerns at the standard of proof to be used by the determination panel and the appeals officer. The balance of probability is to be used as a threshold for applying penalty points. The balance of probability is astonishing. And rather than culpability beyond a reasonable doubt. Furthermore, the Joint Committee is concerned that penalty points applied under this legislation would not be deleted, even if a master is found innocent of the alleged breaches in a court of law. These issues may negatively impact on perceived fairness of the penalty point system. The Joint Committee called on you to re-examine the standards of proof to be used in the application of penalty points and consider a means by which penalty points may be deleted if a master is found innocent of the alleged offences for which they were applied. Again, an astonishing situation. Good God, it's been mentioned here already yesterday. If it was penalty points and you were driving your car and you actually were inside here in the Dáil today and it was found out you were, and that a mistake was made by the authorities out there, you would get back your penalty points again, and the penalty points that were applied to your licence would be immediately withdrawn and an apology given to you and moved on. But in this situation, if you're caught, you're done, and if you're innocent, you're done. You can't win. It's a no-win situation. A significant issue highlighted in meetings with fish producers organisation, the SFPA, is the revocation of weighing after transport. There is an urgent need for the SFPA to submit a revised control plan, one which reinstates in-factory weighing across the country, which is a level of oversight by the SFPA and the NSAI that is considered to be unmatched in the EU. Any inconsistency that may arise between the application of penalty points to EU and non-EU vessels must be addressed. Such an inconsistency could lead to Irish vessels facing a major regulatory burden than the UK registered vessels fishing in Irish waters. The new system introducing penalty points for masters of fishing vessels is unfair and unbalanced with nonsensical elements, according to the Irish Fish Producers Organisation. The Oireachtas Committee was told last May that the EU ruling, meaning catches must be weighed at landing rather than at factories, is an absolute disaster, Minister, and totally unworkable. The European Commission said operators did not have the weighing system fit for purpose, that a 2018 audit had identified manipulation of weighing system and that the state had not taken appropriate action to address this. The move brought an immediate end to the derogation from the obligation to weighing catches at landing. The Irish Fish Producers Organisation, IFPO, told the committee that it does not oppose the introduction of a point system to punish serious fishing infringers, but will argue the bill repeats the mistakes of earlier legislation introduced by the last government. The IFPO said the only grounds for appeal to the High Court are on the point of law, which they say is no doubt being introduced to restrict the rights of appeal of fishermen who fall foul of the Sea-Fisheries Protection Authority. The IFPO told the Committee on Agriculture and Marine that the fact the penalty points will be retained by the master even if they are acquitted is nonsensical, while a standard of balance of probability rather than reasonable doubt could potentially destroy their livelihoods. However, the anger in the industry is reflected across several other submissions for the fishery sector lobby group. Submissions from the Irish South West Fish Producers Organisation argues the penalty point system could remove an individual's income without them having the recourse to the courts. You could potentially have the farcical situation whereby the High Court rules you are innocent, but the penalty points remain on the licence. And that's the whole situation here, Minister, from start to finish. And that's the argument I put here. For the past number of years, fishing, as you can see, how many speakers failed to turn up here today to speak on behalf of the fishermen of this country. And it's deflating to be a fisherman, to look in at this and to see what's going on here. This discussion is flying through the door because many of the deputies have failed to show their face and fight for their fishermen. The penalty point system is making criminals of skippers, and as I mentioned to you, no matter, even if they're innocent, they're still deemed to be guilty. The whole issue, the weighing crisis at the piers, is an absolute disaster made by the SFPA, massive losses to the pelagic fleet. Last Christmas in the Brexit deal, the stinking, rotten Brexit deal that was done, signed up to by this government, was an absolute disgrace. And to hear a Green Party are wagging the tail in this government. And Minister, you need to be stronger. You need to stand up for these people. You need to understand their livelihoods. You were down in Castletownbere on the Fianna Fáil roadshow there recently. You didn't tell every other deputy or Oireachtas member that you were coming. It was a nice hidden secret to go around and pat the backs of the people you ruined. You've ruined their livelihoods. They're contacting me. They want out. That's not a way for a fisherman to want to survive in his own livelihood that he ever wanted all his life. And you, to be honest with you, add insult to injury. You said it was a brilliant meeting in a press release, but unfortunately you sent it out a day before you came down. So that'll tell you the disrespect you had. Not alone to the Oireachtas members of West Cork did you fail to notify, but you also disrespected the fishermen by putting out a statement the wrong day, saying that you had a very successful discussion with them, when you hadn't discussed it at all, you hadn't even arrived. And that's the situation fishermen find themselves in. They have no respect from start to finish. And it's been going on here. It's not you, it's your predecessors. Your predecessors, one after another, have failed to protect them. And your deputies will come in here and back this because the Green Party says he must do it, because he says he must do it. It's time that someone within Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, stand up for the people who elected you. That's what you must do. And this is a raw deal, down, one raw deal down on top of the other raw deal, and there is ways out. Because while the British had to bring in a penalty point system, they certainly had to, in their time, had to do negotiations. And they'd done a proper negotiations with their fishermen while they were in Europe in relation to the penalty point system. We did no negotiation. We're asking Europe, how high do you want us to jump so we'll comply with the rules? How much more quota will we ask them do we need to lose again next year so that we comply with the rules? I called for a senior minister in negotiations of government for the Marine, and he failed miserably to give that senior ministry, and it has cost us dearly this great industry we have at our doorstep. We have a task force that's in place at the moment. And to be honest with you, I was at down the Irish South West Fish Producers Organisation's AGM on Saturday, and they told me that they put so many amendments forward to try and put a better system in place. And as far as they're concerned, this task force wasn't allowed to take on board their amendments. So what's going on out there? What good is a task force if nobody can have any input into it to try and see could they fight for the survival of their fellow fishermen? And that rolls down along to the respect of the inshore fishermen. They certainly are feeling the pinch as well, as many feel here that they've been neglected. We have a weighing crisis at the piers as an absolute disaster. We have an SFPA that seems to protect everybody else but the Irish fishermen. We have a system out here that we know have penalty points so we can drag in our innocent fishermen that are working hard out there that might not be guilty of an infringement. But when there was a ramming incident of a Castletownbere trawler a few months ago, by a Spanish trawler illegally fishing in Irish waters, nobody could go to help them. They were left there. Do you know, it tells you what side of the world we're living in, and it tells what side is government. And when I hear Deputy Ledden coming in here with his, the Green Party, delighted about this. He hasn't read it. He doesn't understand how hard it has been on the Irish fishermen. He talks about quotas. Don't look at Ireland running and throwing away their quotas. This being given to the foreign fleet are robbing our fish out of our waters, and we are allowing it continuously. And I ask for each and every TD from Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and the Green Party to stand up here today and oppose this. Oppose it from start to finish.